do you feel about the quality of your education here at Southeastern?
I feel that it's actually really good, and compared to some of the schools that I've been to and friends go to, the teachers are really what make it. It's sad because some of our teachers are leaving in the art department, but those teachers, I think, gave us a really good education. We don't have like the best facilities in compared to like UL as far as like photo goes, but I think I learned like a lot from the teachers.
Why is it that they're leaving? Is they're going to a better school, or?
I think it's mostly budget issues and the school system. I think for a lot of the teachers, they feel like Louisiana school system isn't the best. And so I think getting out of the Louisiana school system is part of it, and I'm pretty sure budget cuts are part of it. Just not being able to pay the teachers as much as they used to.
So there's a reduction in salary as a result of the budget cuts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're leaving, when was this cut in their pay? Is it recent, or had to deal with it for a while?
I'm actually not sure, because most of the teachers don't talk about it, but one of the teachers I talked to, she didn't tell me exactly when, but she's been here about 4 years now, and she said she's not making as much as she did whenever they first hired her, so it was sometime within that frame. And one of our first teachers that left, Troy, he kind of left more for personal issues, but then like other teachers just started like trickling away and losing more and more. I mean, this semester we don't have the painting teacher that we had last semester, or who else? Or our new media and animation teacher, and I think it was the semester before that we lost our one of our graphic design teachers, and I think hers was more personal issues too. She's out living in a tree somewhere, helping the environment and stuff.
Right.
But I know for some of the teachers it was just way better pay and better opportunities elsewhere.
Do you have any praises for at least your art education? Like anything that is praiseworthy in terms of facilities or teachers or classes?
I guess it's really just the teachers that I consider praiseworthy, because they do the like absolute best they can with the facilities that we have, and our facilities aren't terrible. Like, there are schools with worse facilities, but I'd say the majority of facilities that I've at least heard about are better. So ours may not be the worst, but it's still not the greatest. But I think our teachers definitely work with what they have, and they're constantly trying to get us better stuff. You know, we got some more equipment in the new media and animation department for some video. We got a fancy new printer in the graphic design area that prints white, which is like a big deal. Because usually stuff just prints on white paper and just goes around the white.
Right.
And this actually prints white ink.
Wow.
So that's really cool. But I think the teachers have really, really, really tried to make things the best that they can. And I think it's just budget issues why they can't make the facilities better. And I think they teach very well with what they have. So.
Have you noticed kind of a how do I put this? I seem to have noticed it a little bit, but I'm not an art student, so I don't know how much I can speak about it, but there seems to be a certain disproportion in where the budget cuts are coming from. Like, we had the French department, which was completely demolished, and then we had cuts in the theater department, and then it seems like we've also had a lot of cuts in the art department. And I was just wondering if you noticed that kind of trend.
Yeah, I think even within the art department, I wouldn't say there's specific cuts to certain departments or to certain areas in the art department, but I think they definitely give grants to like selected areas in the art department. So I've seen that within the art department, and then we recently merged with the music department, which helped save us, basically,
Really?
because like by merging the music and art, so now it's like performing and like visual arts degree. By merging it, I think we might be the biggest department now.
Really?
Yeah. So that definitely helped us like keep things around, but I know people were really worried at one point before they made that merger, what was going to happen with the art department, because it felt like they were cutting a lot. It felt like student workers' pay got cut for a little while, or not their pay, their hours got cut. They didn't have enough like money to pay for the hours, so our lab hours got cut back.
Right.
So, yeah.
How do you I don't know if you went to the Capitol or heard about the Capitol protest or rally rather against budget cuts, but the general idea was that Bobby Jindal seems to or at least the Louisiana Constitution dictates, and Bobby Jindal doesn't go against this basically, but that funding is to first be cut from medical care and higher education.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel about that, and do you think they could go about that a different way?
I'm not positive about where else should be the place that they cut. Like, I just don't know. I'm not positive about where else they should cut, but I really think like medical care and higher education should be the last things they cut. I don't really know where to say those cuts should go, but
Right.
I mean, education's like the most important thing. Like that's what I know. Big thing has been like, how are we going to get Americans jobs? Well, that's why businessmen are going to hire you, is not even necessarily like what's on your certificate, but like what you're actually learning in the school and like your skills. That's what they're going to hire from. Like I know my brother's a businessman, and he said he's watched like plenty of times that they go looking overseas because the education in America as a whole just isn't the greatest. And so they'll look for people overseas and fly them down here to, get jobs. And with Louisiana having one of the lowest educations, I really don't think we should be cutting any more from it. And we're also one of the most unhealthy states, so we should probably not be cutting from that either.
Right.
So I don't know where to say the cut should go, but I think education and health are the last things from, one, where our state stands, and from two, just like as humans, like
Right.
our education and our health is probably the most important thing. So
Right. Totally.
yeah.
You said you worked on campus. You were
Mhm.
employed on campus. Are you still currently employed on campus?
Yeah.
And where do you work?
I work in the photo lab. It's a pretty nice job. It gives me time to study and work on my photos, so that's definitely a plus. Yeah, I just have to make sure all the chemicals are put away properly, mix chemicals, and help students if they need it. But a lot of the photo students that are back there working on their film kind of know what they're doing, so I'll help them out a little, but I don't really need to, like, all the time.